4 slot the night before the UK Open starts, and we have somebody through to the semi-finals already. By the skin of his teeth, Rob Cross has won by 6 legs to 5 against a very charged up Michael van Gerwen at the start of the match, but he missed 3 match darts at the end, 1 at double 12, 1 at double 6 and 1 at double 3. So he's on his way to Minehead in Somerset to try and get another UK Open title, but he's not going to be winning week 4 this time around. The 2-time winner in Exeter over the last 3 years is out, and now we're going to get the reaction of Laura Turner to that one. What were your thoughts on that 6-5, Laura?
Yeah, it was a really close encounter between the pair of them, wasn't it? But I think Michael van Gerwen will look back at that, those 3 match winning opportunities. He's going to be really annoyed with himself. Me personally, I actually felt this week Michael van Gerwen may have really come out the traps. We've seen him so strong in the first 3 weeks, especially in that quarterfinals, and then just gets tripped up by the semi-final. He will be disappointed because what he has been doing successfully is just adding to that points tally, and now obviously walks away this week with none.
Very likely that Michael will be in the bottom 4 going into next week's event in Brighton, just a little bit further east on the south coast of England, as England starts to take over the Premier League over the next few weeks. And we can concentrate a little bit on how Michael will be annoyed that he hasn't got the 2 points going into the semi-finals, but what has that win and those 2 points done for Rob Cross, because he's snapped a 3-game losing streak now? Yeah,
it's really important, isn't it? Because as you mentioned, stops that run of losing games. It creates that more positive mindset, because he was 5-1 up against Luke Littler just recently, should have seen the match out, lets it go, whereas this time he's managed to just hold on, finds himself now in the semi-final. But like you say, although it's week 4, it's still relatively early in the race to see who makes it through to the finals in London. That's really important for him because it's points.
From the performance of Cross, when he goes backstage to tune up for the semi-finals, whether it would be Price or Humphries in his way, what about that performance can he cling to in a positive sense?
There's always positives. I mean, it was a closely run game, wasn't it, throughout? So I think whoever lost it was going to be disappointed, because they both, it very much ebbed and flowed between the pair of them. So yeah, of course there's plenty, but for me, you know, someone like Michael van Gerwen, he just wants to win everything. He wants his hands on every single top prize, and unless he's doing that, that's where his disappointment comes from. But Rob Cross, he did enough, got across the line, and that's what he couldn't do the other week. So I think there's positives to take from both, but Rob Cross must be delighted.
It was a sneaky 99 average as well. It's one of those performances, he probably goes backstage thinking, I might have averaged 91, 92 there. In fact, that's what Michael van Gerwen did. But that was a sneaky 99 average from Voltage. And now we focus on the second game of the night, where it is 2 world champions, one from just over a year ago, one from 2021. And this place, it holds a great deal of importance to Luke Humphries, because this is where he got his first ever Premier League win as a contender, beating Gary Anderson just a few seasons ago. But now he's the world number 1, and he's up against Price, who won in Dublin. Speaking of the Iceman, he's about to walk onto the stage. It'll be interesting to see what kind of reception he gets. I don't know about you, Laura, but over the last few days since Dublin, I've seen more people on social media talking about how Price is turning face. It's like he's been a heel in darts for a decade, and now he's seen as a babyface, someone who is actually starting to get more support. And let's not forget, Exeter is not that far from South Wales.
No, absolutely. It's always a mixed reception when it comes to him, but he's definitely working on the crowd.
The reigning World Match Play Champion, the reigning World Cup Champion, the newly crowned World Master, and ladies and gentlemen, the former champion of the world.
The world number 1 is in Exeter once again, looking to pick up his second Premier League win of the season after starting brilliantly in Belfast, beating Chris Dobey in that final. And I always think that the MC, John McDonald, has a really tough job, Laura, because he's got to try and organise which wins of someone's career he's going to mention. Coolhand has already won this season, winning the Winmore World Masters in its new format, which everybody enjoyed, picking up a new historic trophy. Well, it sounds really strange to say that, but Humphries is all smiles, and so was Price on the walk-on.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see, wasn't it? He really was, and I think that's a real turning point for me, what we've seen from Price. You think back to November, he didn't make it through to the Grand Slam of Darts, and he's someone who's picked up that trophy 3 times, really disappointed, and I think that was that turning point. That's what he needed, that disappointment, because he's come back, he's now confident, he's happy, he's positive, and that combination, it just makes, for me, it makes Price a very dangerous player. Yeah,
I think they're both dangerous tonight. I think they both epitomise looking down the barrel of adversity and coming through it. Humphries has done it brilliantly over the last 4 or 5 years, and Price is starting to do it now. He hasn't had a great deal of form adversity over the last 10 years since he joined the tour. But I'm with you. I think not making the Grand Slam of Darts in November is possibly one of the best things that could happen to him. You take something away from a sports person and you tell them they can't do it, their reaction tells you what they feel. I was listening to a podcast recently about people playing golf, and when you hear them saying, I only valued it when I couldn't do it. Gary Woodland was talking about it because he's recently been very ill with a brain tumour. He only realised how much he loved it until he couldn't do it. And now, Price, who wasn't able to play in his favourite tournament in November, now we're starting to see the real him.
Yeah, absolutely, completely agree with it. And he hasn't actually got the best record when it comes to the Premier League either. He's only actually made it through to the knockout stages on 1 occasion, and this is now his 7th appearance in the Premier League. But I'm just liking what I'm seeing from him. I just think this positivity, it's just working out so well.
It's a decent, steady start here from Price, with a ton and a 140 to lead 2-6-1 after 6, but Humphries' best quality in his quarterfinals and semi-finals over the last 3 weeks has been his ability to finish the job. 4-2 down is never a problem to him. He just finds a way to get to 6 before his opponent does.
No, and he's found himself kind of lagging behind in these early stages quite often through weeks 1 to 3, but as you say, Luke Humphries is just very calm, very level-headed, and just draws on all that experience.
1-6-1 for Price. He always seems to start on treble 19 on the big shots. It makes a lot of sense, because when you get the single 19 like he did there, he went for the 17s, trying to get 6 of them to lead tops. He didn't do that, but he might have to leave nothing after this 74 was left in the previous visit, because Humphries with a max to leave 105. Price has got the single 16 after the single 18 for tops. Misses it drastically low by 1.5 centimetres, so Humphries has a chance to break at 105.
He opts to go the ball route, finds 25, then tries tops, just pulls it low. So another chance here for Price, who is looking at double 10.
4 o'clock position on the board. And he was screaming before it even hit the board. Now that's a sign of confidence. I know it's in before it's even pierced the sisal.
Yeah, you do get it sometimes where you find that it feels like that sweet throw, but it's when you do that and actually it's not in. It's rather embarrassing.
One thing that people might have to get used to is that if Price is confident and he's somewhat shaken off a little bit of shyness, this volume and this testosterone is here to stay. And if you don't like it, tough.
Yeah, it's something that's become very synonymous with how he plays. And you get that big come on or go on at the end of a good leg.
He's not pleased with that one. He's trebleless in his first 6 darts of leg 2. Humphries has definitely got this one in the bag. 236 is brought down by 100. So he'll already be thinking, with Price back on 384, just score a 96 here or a ton, leave yourself with 3 darts on for the double to make it 1 leg all.
Price not able to find a treble there on the third visit of the second leg. And as you say, don't want to overcomplicate this, but finds the first treble 20. Can't find the second, so now just teeing up. Finds 16, leaves tops, and will be back because Price is all the way back on 325.
Yeah, tremendous management of the situation from Humphries. Almost pursing his lips at not getting the second treble 20 on the 136 checkout, but it isn't a problem because he's got tops to level at one leg all. Misses that and misses tens a little bit right. His last dart is a little bit further away to the right hand side, but he's got a lot of time here with Price already waving the white flag on 286.
Price does pin his first treble, but could be all academic because Humphries back to the board. Double 10 required, and this time does find the target right in the centre of the bed.
Premier League Darts live on talkSPORT 2 and live on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. Thank you for your subscriptions and likes. We appreciate everything. Stay tuned for lots of shoulder content as well. Getting the words of the players, not just from the Premier League as well, but from the tour. As the tour heads to the UK Open tomorrow, a tournament that neither Price or Humphries have won yet, but both have been to the final.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's something they'd both like to correct. You look at the silverware that they have picked up over their careers.
Yeah, when you've won as much silverware as these two have. The first person getting the call on speed dial is, can you make a very strong mantelpiece or a very ornate trophy cabinet to go in said man cave, in the case of Gerwyn Price, so he's probably got the best man cave of anybody on the PDC Tour. 161 for him. Humphries on 261 and can't get down enough to leave a finish. He's on 233. Price on 161 then. Treble 19 found, treble 16 and a single to leave himself very well placed on double top. That's great management.
Absolutely, and you will do anything you possibly can to leave that tops target. Humphries fighting back, finds a 140, but it is Price for tops for a 2-1 lead. Just goes low, so double 10 finds the target, and we hear once again that roar from Gerwyn Price as he takes the lead. 2-1.
So far, this is going with the throw. Somewhat similar to the previous quarter-final, but if Price hits the 60 the way he's just hit it with the first dart there, Humphries could be in a bit of bother. He only walks away with 121. It's just a mark of how confident he is right now that 121 isn't good enough.
Yeah, absolutely, but it was off the back of Luke Humphries not finding a treble 20. He did find a ton on that occasion, but Price, if he can get a 1-2 treble visit, will be firmly in the driving seat to try and find that break of throw. And it is 2 treble 19s he finds.
Interesting dynamic in the first game of the night where Van Gerwen and Cross had not played each other in this year's Premier League yet. This is actually Price and Humphries number 3, and it is 1 game all, so this is the separator going into week number 5 because only one of them is going to make it to the final 4 here in Exeter, live on talkSPORT 2.
Yeah, and also in terms of how the table is looking at the moment, you've actually got number 1 and number 2 courtesy of Price picking up that win last week. This could be the separator.
Yeah, 146 is not going to go for Price. But again, he's very well placed on 48 against the darts if Humphries doesn't take 156. However, 160, 260s, double 18, and that's what a world number 1 and a former world champion can do. No emotion from Price and very little from Humphries as we go into leg 5 after that thunderous 156 out.
Price did very little wrong, but that was an exceptional finish from Humphries. Just made sure that he didn't lose that throw, especially when you consider he kicked off the leg with 55.
Made that look so simple, that 156. It is not an easy out at all. But if there is a shot in that range that is just a little bit easier, it's probably that one because of its proximity from the treble 20 to the double 18. Price on 301, Humphries on 401, closing in.
Yeah, very much closing in. 2 in the treble bed, then a third. That's another maximum for Luke Humphries, down to 2-2-1.
Back comes Price. Third dart is wayward again. 2 treble 20s to start, then the treble 5 at the end. Leaves him on a pesky looking 166. And Humphries is at a finish first, and that finish is 1-2-1, which is remarkably easier than 156, which he's just hit.
Yeah, Price back in the treble bed, finds the treble 18 with the last. It's a great setup play, but it's whether he gets the opportunity. Humphries now to the oche, pulls it into the treble 5, and there's a wry smile from him because of all the numbers to hit. That wasn't the one he wanted.
Yeah, they've both hit a treble 5 that's cost them in this leg. Price on double 16 and finds it with the second dart. It's a 3-2 lead for the Welshman. There was a lot of literature before the Premier League started saying that does Price deserve to be in the Premier League at the expense of maybe his World Cup partner Johnny Clayton? Well, over the last couple of weeks, Gerwyn Price has said, I deserve to be here. He won in Dublin. He's also won on the floor for his first ranking title in about 14 months. That's all forgotten news now. It's all about doing the next thing, and Price would like to be the first person to get 2 wins in the Premier League here tonight.
Yeah, he needs to get past Luke Humphries first, though, and Luke Humphries down to 2-6-1 and in a commanding position once again on throw. Looks like it is going to go with the darts as Humphries pins a 140 to leave 1-2-1 once again.
Yeah, this time he'll be hoping not to get a treble 5 start. However, even if he does, it won't be costly because Price, with the last start treble 19 there, leaves 2-4-5, roughly twice as worse off. 25 start for Humphries, 80 more after that, leaves him on double 8, the double that gave him a world title.
Price just miles behind, can't find a treble, so opportunity once again for Humphries to level the match up just on the outside. You could hear it clip the wire, but uses the marker beautifully, and we are at a level game once again at 3 apiece.
Interesting head-to-head in Premier League darts for these two. They've only met 5 times, but Humphries has won 4 of them, meaning their previous meeting, which was won by Gerwyn, was his first win against Humphries in this kind of setting. And he's got way more experience in the Premier League than Humphries has.
Yeah, when you consider, and I always think it's crazy to say, but when you consider Humphries, who's just faced a 180 from Price, it's only his second appearance here.
We do forget that, don't we? Because the year before he was brought in as world champion, his ejection from the list was a shock. He was world number 5 when he was not included in the Premier League. He's done quite well since then. Again, more evidence of returning from adversity. Just a ton from Humphries, but again he leaves 1-2-1, 10 points better off than Price.
And Price just above the treble 20 bed, finds it on the second dart, 51 remaining, finds the 11. If he gets the chance to come back, tops will be the target for Gerwyn Price.
This would be a game changer for a break throw. 1-2-1 needed, and he's missed the treble 11. He's paid the price for chasing the treble 11, and he's scored a treble 8 after the treble 20. Single 5 at the end, and he tilts his head to the left as if to say, I've just missed my chance, because Price is on tops, and you know what happens next. Huge celebration from the Welshman because he knows he's just dodged one there.
Yeah, he really did, didn't he? And it goes down to what we've quite often said, make sure of the single number. I can understand the confidence of someone like Luke Humphries going for the treble bed, but make sure you get the line right, make sure you get the weight right. But what a reaction we saw there from Gerwyn Price, who now leads 4-3.
These are the best players in the world. And the story of the night so far, missed singles. It just goes to show, whether you're Luke from down the local or whether you're Luke Humphries, the world number 1, do not neglect your singles. He's at 3 trebles there to lead 2-6-2, and he gave a little bit back there, didn't he, Luke Humphries?
You don't often see that too much from Luke Humphries, but as you say, these are the best players in the world, and they are fired up as Humphries finds another treble 20. And a good switch at the end of the 25, just to make sure he is on a 3-figure out.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Already knowing where Price is before his visit. He knew what he was going to do, regardless of what the first 2 darts were. 157 for Humphries, 60 hit. Doesn't get the 57 and gets a cheeky double 19 at the end. That's not the norm, but it has left him on tops. Thoughts on that one, Laura?
Yeah, I think he looks fired up. Obviously, all this roaring from Gerwyn Price, he's not having it. He's trying to fight back and just skies it above tops, but adjusts well with the second, and we're back at an even match. It's 4 apiece, and just get that feeling it's who's going to slip up first, who's going to take that opportunity if it presents itself.
This is one of those classic games where the person with the dart has a very lesser average. 93 for Price, 102 for Humphries. But the person with the greater average against the darts has got to be that good to stay level.
Yeah, I agree. It's we always say, don't we, averages are a guide, but they're a very good guide. And Price there just reaching out, finds a treble 20 with the last dart, but didn't look particularly happy with the score.
He'll be happy with his doubles percentage, just 57%. Humphries for this year's Premier League is over 50%. He's at 44% here. He might have to be close to perfect if he's going to get out of this game with a win. It's 4-4 on talkSPORT 2, and we are going to the wire.
It does feel that way, and Humphries fires in another ton, but I've just noticed the body language from Gerwyn Price. He seems to be quite reacting. He's expecting the best, and he's getting frustrated.
This is not the spot where you want to get frustrated, but that last dart in treble 18, that'll cheer him up somewhat. He leaves 1-2-4, 80 points ahead of Humphries, who was gunning for a max here to leave double 12. He's not going to get it, but he does get the second prize of 140 to leave 64. 1-2-4 for Price, gets a single 20, does not get the treble 18, and Humphries now can break him with 64.
Yeah, this is the best break opportunity either player have crafted out for themselves. Humphries just taking his time to the Oki, finds treble 16 for double 8. That is the break of throw that Luke Humphries has been looking for, and a bit of a dejected looking Gerwyn Price at the back of the stage.
I don't blame him, but what did we say? Humphries' ability to finish best of 11 games in the Premier League this year from behind. He was 4-3 down, now he's 5-4 up, and he started with a 140 in leg number 10. He has got Price on the ropes.
Yeah, well, he's got the advantage of throw, hasn't he? So he's really going to want to make the most of it, but does pull that one quite wide into the one, has to adjust because it's all become a bit awkward. You can only back up that 140 with a score of 40 points.
Some people might think that the £10,000 prize at the end of the night doesn't mean anything. These guys want it, and they want to win in a venue that they've never won in before. Neither of these two have won in this format at Exeter. Only Aspinall and Van Gerwen have. 2-2-6 Humphries. Price on 3-1-6, looking to try and leave himself well placed. 2 treble 19s definitely helps his cause, but it's not enough to leave a finish. 1-8-2 for him.
You just have to wonder, that slip up from Humphries, scoring just 40. And now just desperately seeking out a treble 20, does find treble 17 with the last start. Does leave himself first to a finish on 1-3-6.
It's a tricky one. Price has got to demolish that 1-8-2. He's got a treble 3 with his second dart. This is not good enough. He's going to need more. He's undecided as to where to go with his third dart. He's taking his time. And it's only 49 to leave himself on 1-3-3. Humphries is the favourite here with 1-3-6.
One above, one below. The last one does find the treble 20 target to leave tops, and Price here desperately needs 1-3-3 and cannot find that important first treble 20.
How Humphries got that treble 20 with his last start of his previous visit, I have got no idea. No physician in the world will know. Has he got the win on double 18? The first start says no, as does dart 2. And the dart 3 is so far away, it was in the English Channel.
Yeah, but what it does afford is an opportunity here for Price. Humphries desperately fought for that breaker throw. Price has got the opportunity to do it straight back, well above the target. Top still, working his way in just above the wire. Can he find the tops? He can't.
Very similar to the first game of the night where both have had match darts. But in this game it's in leg 10. Double 9 missed on the inside. Humphries doesn't get a shot at double 4 because he's missed another single.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. The crowd getting so involved. Tops just above once again for Price. How he squeezed that in between the two, but last dart pulls it low. But does anyone want this?
Does Humphries want it? He's still got double 9. 5 match darts missed, but it's not going to be 6 missed. And Humphries gets 2 valuable points in the 2025 Premier League. But the most amazing thing about the last leg of that contest, Laura, is the fact that Gerwyn Price missed 2 visits at double top. 6 darts missed at 40 for him. and that means he's going to Minehead with no points from Exeter.
Yeah, absolutely. We were waxing lyrical just earlier on in the match about how efficient he'd been on the outer ring, but when it really counted, when there was a chance to level up at 5 apiece, Gerwyn Price's infamous top sitting just seemed to have deserted him, and it is Luke Humphries who celebrates up on the stage in front of a massive Exeter-based crowd. He's loving it.
Person at the top of the table, Luke Humphries, scoring points once again, an average of 97.22. Gerwyn Price with 89 and a bit. That 156 checkout, the definite highlight of that game. The statistics will probably be going in the bin by the end of the night, but it's Humphries who goes through to the semi-finals with a stoic and somewhat stubborn display to get particularly that last leg to win by 6 legs to 4. We'll be back with the third quarter-final after this short break, live on talkSPORT 2. It will be Mark Wilson and Laura Turner calling that one in for you. We hope to have your company after the break. We will speak to you then. Take care, and we'll see you soon. When it comes to Darts Premier League, the last thing you want is an online mishap throwing you off your game. That's where NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro steps up to the hockey. Think of it as your personal referee, keeping dodgy websites, malware and phishing scams from sneaking into your setup. It even blocks those pesky ads so you won't get distracted mid-leg. Go to nordvpn.com/dartsvpn and get 2 years plus 4 months free and a birthday deal. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Stay here on the YouTube channel with talkSPORT, because we've got another quarter-final coming your way, and somebody is in need of points. That person is Nathan Aspinall. Even after 3 points in Dublin, he needs even more, and a certain Chris Dobey is standing in his way. We'll see you soon. We'll be back on the YouTube channel with talkSPORT very soon.